Seattle's a really interesting place in a lot of ways, one of which is that there's a lot of diversity in Seattle. And when I say diversity, you think a lot of different races, which there aren't that many. I don't know, Seattle's not very diverse in that, especially in that a lot of the different races kind of have their racial neighborhood. So it's still segregated. Like, I can find people of a different race than me very easily in large quantities, but I have to go to a specific part of town. I know where to find people. So it's not especially diverse in that way, but economically, Seattle is very diverse. We have a huge homeless population. Yeah, definitely the highest of anywhere I've ever lived, by far. We also have a lot of young people with a lot of money, what we call Microsoft millionaires. And, I mean, people who were involved, like, World of Warcraft was written in Seattle. It was coded in Seattle. People who did things like that, a lot of computer people, and the computer industry is still going strong. Maybe not quite like it was, but it didn't get hit like a lot of industries. And, I mean, we just have very much that very rich people and very poor people. And nowhere in this city is that better illustrated than a neighborhood called Pioneer Square. And that's where I work. Pioneer Square has a lot of poor people, a lot of rich people, a lot of drug addicts, and just every character you can think of, a lot of hustlers. Pioneer Square is just kind of that neighborhood where you can get into any kind of trouble you want, and yet people with excessive amounts of money choose to live there. And in some cases even raise their families there. And I just wanted to tell you one story about Pioneer Square, since it is where I work. A couple days ago, I was on my way to work, and I saw this guy. He was definitely, like, very downtrodden, and I don't know whether or not he was homeless. Here in Seattle, it's sometimes hard to tell. In all seriousness, there are some people that I'm like, I have no idea. And sometimes people shock you in either direction. But anyway, he was walking around with both of his middle fingers covered in medical tape, looking otherwise completely fine. I let my mind wander a little bit. I extrapolated. How did this happen? Here's my serious guess. He was walking down the street when he encountered another individual whom he probably has some acquaintance with whom he probably has some acquaintance, and they exchanged some unpleasant words, at which point the gentleman in question gave his companion the two-handed California howdy. And when his companion saw said double-fisted sailor salute, he grabbed them and broke them. That is my sincere guess as to how our friend ended up in this predicament. That, my friends, is Pioneer Square.